I was on a red-eye flight. It was the kind of flight that pushes night into morning, stretching the dark hours until they feel thin and fragile. I sat by the window, my seat a small island in a river of quiet. My head was heavy with the particular exhaustion that only comes from recycled air and the low, constant drone of engines. The people around me were trying to sleep, their bodies arranged in awkward shapes of surrender. The lights in the cabin were half off, dim to a weak amber glow. A metal tube, hurtling through an endless empty sky. I leaned my forehead against the cold glass. The plastic felt tight and unforgiving. Outside, the wing cut the sky like a thin black knife. Red, then a pause, then red again. Far below, scattered lights looked like dying embers, the stars washed out by our faint interior glow and the sheer blackness of altitude. My mind was soft and tired, and I did not plan on seeing anything strange. Every so often the plane gave a small shudder, a reminder that we were suspended far above the ground. A hush. At first, it was just a blink. A flicker of movement my tired brain almost dismissed. A small shape moved on the surface of the wing, not a shadow, not a bird, a dark smear against darker metal. It looked like a smudge of ink, and then it articulated. It had legs. Something like legs. A head that dipped and rose with a deliberate searching motion. I pressed my palm to the cold pane. My breath fogged a small, perfect circle. I wiped it away and watched. It crawled like an insect, but not quite. Too smooth, too fluid, keeping to the seam, disappearing under the flap. Then it reappeared, climbing back onto the top surface. My heart started a small drum. Ice? Debris? No. Ice doesn't crawl. Debris doesn't place a jointed limb with care. It was small, no bigger than my hand, but its presence felt enormous. In a world of metal, fuel, and sleeping passengers, something alive. It paused, tilting toward me as if sensing my attention. I looked away from the window, needing to see if anyone else was witnessing this. No one was. The woman across the aisle slept on. The man in front had not moved, held like a stone carving. A flight attendant moved silently down the aisle with an empty tray, disappearing behind the curtain. I tapped the window. A dull thud, swallowed by the engines. Maybe I was tired. A trick of light, a smear in my own eye. I forced myself to look. It was crawling near where the wing joins the body of the plane. It lifted a thin, needle limb and held it poised, then lowered it. I thought I heard a scrape. I tried to pull the shade down. My fingers were clumsy. I couldn't close it all the way. A part of me needed to keep watching. The man beside me grunted, then sank deeper into sleep. Then, I saw it inside the glass. Its shape was there, in the reflection. It wasn't just the wing, it wasn't just happening outside. In the dark mirror, the cabin showed the thing too. It crawled on the outside wing, and its perfect, dark shadow crawled inside with the same slow, wrong rhythm. It moved across the reflection of the empty headrest in front of me. The laws of light seemed to bend. I blinked to reset my vision. The reflection did not blink. It moved once, a small shimmy, and in the glass, it leaned toward me. A chill that had nothing to do with air conditioning slid through me. The thing in the reflection was aware. It was watching me back. I stood up. My knees cracked the plastic of the seat ahead.
Folks, we are on our scheduled flight path. We will begin our initial descent in approximately 20 minutes.
I had to tell someone. I shook him. He did not wake. His sleep was unnaturally deep. She turned her head, eyes barely opening, gave me a blank look, and turned away. There is something on the wing, I said. Please, you have to look.
Everything is fine, sir. We're beginning our descent. Return to your seat and rest.
I pointed at the window. No, on the wing. And it's inside too. My voice cracked like a frightened child. The thing in the reflection clung near the top of my reflected head. It paused. It moved a limb like a hand, too many joints, and tapped once on the inside surface. A soft, dry click. I heard it here, a few startled. A child began to cry. Then the runway rose to meet us with a gentle bump and a roar. People stood, stretched, and reached for the bins. I stayed until the last person had left, my carry-on a small, dead weight on my lap. The open door was a wide mouth spilling us into morning. I glanced back. The reflection showed an empty cabin, rows of seats, dim lights. normal. Then my phone buzzed. A notification. I pulled it out, expecting a pickup text, and pressed the button. The wallpaper was a photo I had not taken. It was me, in my seat on the plane, taken from the aisle. I'm looking straight at the camera. My mouth is open in a small, quiet O of terror, and behind me, resting on my shoulder, is a long, dark hand with too many joints. The hand is not a reflection. It is solid. It is there.